Cherie Hanson here in my little upstairs pod of security and protection with my sleeping cat over here, right here. I really have the last 2 days been electrified by energy. There's just so much stuff happening in wherever that it's coming from. And I keep pulling myself back down into grounding. My ego is like a charioteer. It's whipping and whipping my horses, trying to get them to go faster and win the race. And I see that because I have enough mindfulness practice to understand that there's something going on. Instead of just getting myself into a frenzy or a big mound of whipped cream, I have to be in a place where I go like, I don't know what is happening. I don't understand what all these energies are that are coming in. And this really brought me back to the theme of today's Wim Hof meditation. And it was about how we want to simplify the process. We want to simplify it. We want to have it be easier. We want, can you just make sure the path is a nice flat slab of cement leading to nirvana or the end of the rainbow or the pixie land? Can't you just make it that way? Why does the process of getting lost keep coming into this journey? And this is the thing I think about quite often is feeling around in the dark, feeling around in the confusion, feeling around in the blindness and the lack of clarity and the yearning, the wounded child screaming and holding on to us and yearning to not have anything go wrong, all of that stuff happening. And so we would like it to be very, very simple, but the problem is it's never going to be simple, is it? So what we need to come to understand, I'm saying to myself as I'm calming my horses down and, asking them to just go at a nice slow trot, is that the answer lies in the contradictions. Can it just be true or not true? Can it just be simple? Can it just not be transitioning? I mean, what the hell is this going on? And the answer is, as I was thinking about it, how the contradictions are in themselves something we need to make room for in our lives. When we look at somebody, for instance, with the 3D eyes, the special glasses that make everything simple and flat and predictable, and it's got a hard shell on it. We know what that is. We like to label things. We like to know what something is. We like to be able to use our robotic arms, at a safe distance from whatever it is, and move it around but not actually touch it. You don't want to touch it. My God. So we are in a place where we look at somebody and we say someone is arrogant or someone is full of themselves. Now that's so interesting. That's so interesting to me. We know for sure if we get to a higher place up the mountain that somebody who's arrogant and full of themselves is empty of themselves. Huh? Think of that for a minute. Why are they so desperate to prove that they are superior? And I got that conditioning in my family. Oh, there's a Sears catalog for ways of being screwed up, and you could order from that. You would see all my relatives in there, like, oh my God, this one's just insane. So we're sitting at the table, people who are functioning barely, functioning in their jobs. That's okay. We've got that covered. But functioning as parents, no. Functioning as healthful human beings, no. Functioning as someone who can move through the world with compassion and love and not be in fear. Functioning as people that don't gather stuff around them to fill their nest so they can fill their heart. So the emptiness will go away. And we sit at the table and we discuss how stupid people are. Really. Yes, my father had 168 IQ. Yes, my mother was extremely intelligent and had degrees. But, there were whole areas of their system that was just infantile and blighted. And so how did we come to a place where we blocked ourselves off from the humanity of other people? We blocked them off. And that prevented us from learning from anyone else because we knew more. We knew better. We had a superior intellectual curiosity. And I think that's what attracts me to Buddhism the most, is the idea that everyone that we come across in our life is there to teach us something. And the fun part of the game is to figure out what they are presenting to you so that you can heal. If they are presenting the image of someone who is arrogant and ruthless and incapable of loving other people, if that triggers me, yes, then I understand that that is an area in me that needs to be really focused on. So somebody arrogant, somebody who's strutting around, dictators, people who are cruel and just avariciously going after power. The reason they do it is because they're so lacking in self-esteem. They don't want anybody to know that, if you looked inside, you're not going to see a heart or kidneys or an organ or a backbone. It's just empty. It's just all empty. And so this mindset of really looking at contradictions to find out something that will grow my spirit is really a gift in my life. We look at people who are health food fanatics and they are ruthlessly health food fanatics. They're Nazis. They're like, you shouldn't, what are you doing? And the thing that we see with this is that because they're protecting themselves so hard, they're terrified. It's like somebody wearing a hazmat suit out into the field of reality. And so when someone does something, it's usually to compensate for something that was wrecked in them. It was wrecked. So a man who is super masculine makes the decision in the family, has to be in charge of everything, who tells you constantly how helpful he is to the weak he gathers around him, has a problem believing it. And he has to prove it. He's constantly having to prove it. So, look at the contradictions in your own behavior, because we always want to go back there. We want to, the focus outside is great. It gets us someplace. We can see something that we're learning from, but we need to then turn back into ourselves. And the thing I was looking at last night is I hadn't walked very much that day, and I had been in isolation mode quite a bit. And so something in me wanted to go for a long walk. And as I'm walking out around the blocks, I'm going past bars that are full of young people drinking. I am going past, events that are spilling out onto the street, and all of the 20 and 30-year-olds are just drunk out of their minds and screaming and running around. And people are running across the streets and engaging in dangerous behavior. And I was thinking to myself, this is really good that I'm doing this. Because what I'm doing is I am out for a walk. That's what I'm focused on. I'm out for exercise. I'm out to look at the moon. I'm out to feel the black, cold air that's flowing around. And I can choose to be triggered by these people who are indulging in what I see as self-destructive behavior. And I can react to that. Or I can just say to myself, once you get to the store, you're going to buy a drink and some nuts. And you're going to sit down on the sidewalk downtown and just have a handful of nuts and drink a drink. And so I got my steps in. I went downtown, and it was quiet there. There was nobody on the street. It was very peaceful. And I got a chance to chat with a couple who were figuring out which $4 million mansion to buy on their real estate window. We had fun talking. And then I went down another street, and I saw so many people who were out of their minds. Now, we do it different ways. The people who are on the street and who are poverty-stricken go out of their minds with heavy drugs, and it makes them a danger to society. But other people are out of their minds on alcohol, so they're driving in a dangerous way and zipping around on their motorcycles. But that's okay, because that's normal. And I just walked down the sidewalks, and I thought about how every single block has a different energy. It has a different feel to it. This neighborhood is very calm energy. This neighborhood is very searching, anxious energy. Wow, there is so much variation from one street to another street over. And when I came home, I sat on the back deck for a while under the moon, and I just felt good. I felt good. The exposing myself to people who are addicted and who aren't thinking rationally was good for me, because I have big triggers around that from my childhood. I mean, they're going to kill you if they can. So that's sort of what I'm going, I have really come a long way. And I'm not judging people. I'm not going, this is stupid. You are a bunch of idiots. I'm just like, they're where they are. They're walking their path. They're trying to learn. And so I think the thing that my meditation was showing me today was the most important thing we can do is look at the contradictions and not try to be right, not try to untangle the mess and find only the blue string and throw away the red string. They're both there, and just look at them and give yourself time. Give yourself time to be able to hold contradictions without fearing it. So that's what I came to today. I wanted to share that with you because we're in the full moon, and tonight is a great night to have a green fire, to take strips of paper and burn things that you no longer want in your life. Fear, hatred, jealousy, competition, being isolated or deserted. Get rid of those things. Burn them on a small fire in a bowl and ask them to go back into the universe. You don't need them anymore because you are beginning again. And so we begin again. Thank you so much for people who are subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. A subscription means a lot to me. It means a lot to other people that I'm coaching or other people that are reaching out to me for some instruction from someone who's been there, wrestled lions and tigers and bears, dragons. And I would also ask you to like. Apparently, they tell me that moves it up in the algorithms if there are a lot of thumbs up. Share it with somebody if it helps them. The contradiction holds the lesson. And I want to finish, as I always do, with the deepest appreciation for you. Thank you.